Hello, my name is Tanay Tiwari and welcome to Buzz This Week, your favorite show for cricket news every week, जहां memes हम धनिया मिर्ची के जैसे free में डाल देते हैं. All of it done with so much ease. On the show this week, IPL 2021's shadow on the England tour. ABD says no and Team India's new test. Ever since the indefinite postponement of IPL 2021, the speculations around its return for the latter half have been rife. Sometimes they say Sri Lanka can be the venue. फिर कहते हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया हो सकता है, इंग्लैंड हो सकता है, UAE तो है ही जहां पर PSL will also start from June 5th by the way. But in all of this, there's one tournament, the Asia Cup. उसकी बेचारे की किस्मत ही खराब है. मतलब it seems like the most unwanted tournament. जब मन आता है उसका फॉर्मेट बदल देते हैं, शेड्यूल बदल देते हैं. It's postponed again.
गजब बेइज्जती है.
But for the IPL 2021 to resume, there are a lot of interests at stake. Fans want top flight cricket, also want to secretly make some of that fantasy money back. I feel your loss. But then there's the BCCI as well, who has at stake 2,500 crore rupees per the BCCI president. That is the amount that they stand to lose if they do not play the latter half of IPL 2021, which is why the BCCI has been scrambling really hard to ensure that they get a 3-week window to ensure that IPL 2021's remainder of the tournament happens. In furtherance of that effort, the BCCI have reportedly now approached the ECB to either prepone the England versus India Test series by a week or scrap the final test that is to be played in Old Trafford altogether. All of this to ensure that BCCI get a clear 3-week window before the T20 World Cup, the fate of which anyway will be decided by the ICC come June 1st, to stage IPL 2021. Now there are issues because there's also the CPL starting on August 28th, so players' availability will be an issue wherever the IPL is placed. All of this though places ECB in a very tough spot, who've of course vehemently denied receiving any such request from the BCCI. But if any of this is true, the ECB might find themselves in the shoes of a kid जिसको दोस्त खेलने बुला रहे हैं लेकिन घर पे homework pending है. Because ECB has to cater to its home fans who've been starved of Test cricket for the last 1 year. Test cricket is a major event in England, and you can see that by just the fact that they will also allow fans to come into stadiums for the World Test Championship final. And the tickets for the England versus India Test series have already been sold out at a number of venues for a number of days. So you can understand how much do fans want to watch Test cricket in England, and if they are deprived of that, the ECB is all set to face a backlash. But ECB also has a very powerful friend they can't say no to. Whatever it is, I'm sure that decision will start something like this.
सह लेंगे थोड़ा सा.
So IPL 2021 or Test cricket, England versus India Test series in its entirety. What is your take? Where do you fall on this debate? Tell us using #BuzzThisWeek on Twitter. AB de Villiers and his batting are like music. Even if you've never watched cricket, you don't understand cricket, you just tune in and watch AB de Villiers bat. You just look at it and say, समझ नहीं आया, लेकिन देख के
मजा आया.
But no maza it will be come the T20 World Cup for the Protean fans, because AB de Villiers has, quote unquote, once and for all decided to make sure that he will sustain his retirement and he will not come out of it, keeping in mind the players who are in fray for a spot in that South Africa side. Now, I'm not a Protea fan, but I can feel your pain, South African fans, because AB de Villiers has just showed us in IPL 2021 what he's made of. At 37, he's like the curious case of AB de Villiers. He's aging in reverse. His batting seems to be vaccinated against any sort of dismissals. It's just immune to any weaknesses, and that is why, for a man who can walk into any international side in the world, for him to not make it to South Africa for that T20 World Cup and continue with his retirement must be really, really painful. But what is it with these legendary comebacks, yeah? I mean, all of them are so disappointing. Are they though? One of them isn't, because one man who's coming back to senior India team is that Rahul Dravid. Yes, Rahul Dravid will don the coach's hat come that Sri Lanka tour, where India will tour for a white ball series including ODIs and T20Is. There's more happy news for Team India as they are all set to play their first pink ball Test match, becoming only the third country after Australia and England to play a day-night Test match come their tour of Australia later this year. Cricket Australia have also released a multi-format fixture schedule for them, comprising of 3 ODIs and as many T20Is after the one-off test that will be played at the WACA in Perth. After being starved of top-flight cricket for a while now because of the pandemic, it is so heartening to see the ball is rolling for Team India, and Captain Mithali could not be more chuffed. There was more news on Team India's front though, as the BCCI announced the central contracts for Indian senior women, where young opener Shafali Verma has earned a jump to grade B in the central contracts, while also rewarded is that name of Poonam Raut, who makes her climb up from grade C to B. Left-arm spinner Rajeshwari Gaikwad has made a similar upward stride, while Shikha Pandey, who was curiously not picked for the ODIs and T20Is against South Africa, has retained her grade B contract. While no longer a certainty in either of the white ball formats, Veda Krishnamurthy is a notable absentee from that contracts list. While on the selections front, Cricbuzz has reliably learned that BCCI President Mr. Saurav Ganguly is unhappy with the non-selection of W.V. Raman, the former India coach. He feels that a coach who took India to the final of a global T20 tournament should have been there. But as things stand of now, come the England tour, Ramesh Pawar is all set to take over as head coach for Team India. Your buzz challenge last week was to pick India's pace attack for the WTC final. For this week, your buzz challenge is to give me the one contest that you're really looking forward to in that WTC final. I'll give you mine. Mine is Mohammad Siraj versus Kane Williamson. I've been a huge fan of Mohammad Siraj, and Kane Williamson is a class apart. To watch the two of them go at it will be one mouth-watering contest. Which will yours be? Tell us using hashtag Buzz this week on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. हम सब जगह हैं, आप बस बता दीजिए. That's all that we have for you on this episode of Buzz This Week. Until next week, take some inspiration from the Ryan Burl story, where the internet worked its magic to get the Zimbabwean cricketer a new shoe deal. What's that line from Shawshank Redemption? How often do you look at a man's shoes? Well, when they're in need of new ones. There are tough times around us. Empathize, sensitize, help whoever you can. The internet can be a place filled with negativity. Try and add a dash of your positivity to it.